it's the age of Voltaire and Cardano. Governance is at the front of everybody's mind. We're obviously making some great steps as an ecosystem to decentralizing Cardano itself's governance. But now I think it's really time for us to kind of continue that trajectory and continue to decentralize all the way down.
What is up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, I've got two representatives, Logan Poncho and Justin Schreiner, to talk about everything that the Clarity DAO is building on Cardano. If it's your first time hearing about the Clarity DAO, they're going to be a governance platform building on the network. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring the both of them up. First, we've got Logan Poncho. Logan, good to see you again.
Hey Fareed, how's it going at Ada Nation? Good to see you guys.
It is going pretty good. I think this is the third time that I've actually got you guys on the channel. It should be an interesting chat. You guys got a lot coming up. We've got an updated roadmap, I believe, V2, and also some giveaways that we're going to be chatting about.
Yep, definitely a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. As always, it's a pleasure to be on. And it's been cool how we've been kind of doing interviews throughout our journey building on Cardano. So appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Again, that's my job here as a creator, is to provide coverage to those contributing and providing and adding value to the space. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring up is it the head honcho?
We're both head honchos. We're co-founders.
Okay. There he is. Justin. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, not a problem. It was good to actually see you in person a couple months back at the Rare Evo conference for 2023, second annual conference. Not the turnout that a lot of people expected, but it was still good to see builders like yourself there in attendance, spreading the gospel about everything that Clarity DAO is bringing to Cardano. All right, gentlemen, maybe we kick it off with just a brief recap, right? For anybody who's just hearing about the Clarity DAO for the very first time, let's get like a quick elevator pitch, and then we're going to jump into some of the new stuff. So either one of you want to give us that intro about Clarity?
Yeah, I can start off, and Justin, you can piggyback on top of it if you want. But really, what Clarity is it's a simple way to implement governance, treasury management, and just community organization into your tokenized project. So really at the forefront of why we build is we know community really matters. And so we just make no code tools so that people can, you have a token community, you want to put governance around it, you want to put treasury management around it, you want to incentivize your community with incentives. We just give tools to help communities prosper on Cardano.
I really like that introduction. You guys did recently rebrand the website. I really love the look and feel of it. Super simple, super clean. Also, you guys are working with some of the biggest names within the Cardano ecosystem, right? We've got Genius Yield, Matera, who has an ongoing ISPO, GoKey, Cherryland, Token Allies, just to name a few there. So interesting concept, and looking forward to seeing more projects adopting the scoring platform. Now, let's go ahead and maybe touch on some upgrades and new features that have been coming onto the platform. So maybe we give Justin a shot to kind of introduce, anything that may have been added, right? Or anything that may have just been new since our latest conversation.
Yeah, I think something that is up and running and live that people can start playing with right now that we've been focusing on a lot over the last couple months is just this idea of rewards and incentives in every community. So community organizers are able to go into the Clarity platform now, and they're able to actually create custom incentives for their community to do whatever it is that they want to incentivize. So this can be social engagement. This can be using a Dapp. This can be participating in a test group. These are all things that the Clarity community has specifically leveraged kind of this tool set for. So you're able to create your own custom incentives for your community. Your community members are able to actually come to the site, and they're able to see the incentives. I can actually share screen if that would be helpful.
Yeah, that was actually
and give a demo.
That's perfect. You read my mind. Go for it.
Amazing.
And I've got a couple of questions about that too once you're done sharing.
Cool. So this is our working group that we have right now. From the admin dashboard, I'm able to actually go in and create custom incentives where the community is able to then see these incentives and see, what I'm trying to encourage the community to do it and then complete those. So you could come on here, you could say, follow Clarity on Twitter. And for that, we could give 100 points. Optional stuff that you can fill in. But that creates this incentive, which then other people can come and they can see that incentive is kind of to do for them. So they're able to complete that incentive, show some proof, so they could upload a photo showing that they completed that incentive. And then that would boost them up 100 points on the leaderboard. So that's another kind of aspect that we've implemented, and I can start to pull that up as I kind of tee it up on our mainnet site. But the leaderboard is keeping track of all the incentives that everybody throughout the community earns. And that's actually putting it in a kind of one spot where you're able to compare yourself to other people in the community, see how much you're engaging versus other people. And you're able to also implement shorter term kind of competitions on that leaderboard. So you can create kind of sub leaderboards that only last for, say, a month or something if you're trying to make a specific push for a goal or something like that you want to create a kind of temporary competition for your community to complete these incentives with. Logan, if you want to share screen on that leaderboard, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I mean, a picture is always worth 1,000 words. So let's kind of go into a user journey here. So you're someone who wants to create a DAO, you have a community, you want to engage them, you want to incentivize them, you want your community to grow in an organic way. So the first thing you can do is create an organization. So we have referral codes as well. We don't have to talk about that. You put in your name of your organization. You put in the description of your organization here. And really, this is just information so you're easily discoverable on the platform. You can put in your links. And then the next big part is you get to customize the governance of your organization. So you can have members with at least, X voting power be able to create polls and bounties. Or if you want to make it more centralized, you can have it be only admins. So you really get a customizable governance structure when you're creating your organization. Now, kind of like a multi-signature, but for proposal creation, if you do have it so that, anyone can create proposals, but you want to have a safety check where admins have to approve the poll before it goes live, you can create that check here. And you can say how many admins must approve and how many days they have to approve. So once you kind of settle on those can always be changed. You add your snapshot governance tokens. So you just put in the policy ID. You can say, is it one token, one vote? Is it linear? Is it calculated on a linear or quadratic scale? But then that's really where the fun begins once you create your organization. So Clarity is actually we're leveraging our platform to facilitate our own community growth. So let's go through how we're leveraging these features to grow our community. So right now, this is kind of the Clarity dashboard. The Clarity DAO dashboard, every DAO that gets created on the platform has access to all of these features I'm about to show you.
While that's loading, if I could maybe just quickly add, with the leaderboards, is there a way to reward members with a particular DAO's token? I maybe just want to quickly touch on the benefits of the incentives themselves. Again, didn't want to interrupt your flow there, but Justin maybe wants to answer.
Yeah, actually, finishing up some features this week that are pretty exciting as far as integrations with other projects in the Cardano ecosystem. I guess they don't need to keep it secret. Hooking it up to NMaker so that you can mint directly from NFT collections that are managed through there. We'll be integrating with some community rewards distributors so that you're able to distribute your token rewards directly, and other digital assets. You're also able to use them in the app to pay for certain items, and then we'd like to make it so that you can get merch in the future as well.
Really exciting news to hear. I do appreciate you taking the time to answer that question for me. Back over to you, Logan, on the dashboards and the leaderboards.
All right, so here is the leaderboards page. So as you can see, really the Clarity community can come in and they have this dashboard of incentives that they can complete for points. So you could subscribe to the Clarity YouTube channel for 100 points. You can follow Clarity on Medium for 100 points. Join the Discord. Come to a working group session where we're testing out the on-chain infrastructure in V2. Create an Agora DAO on testnet. So there's all these different things that you can complete in order to get points in our community. So if you scroll down, you see the all-time leaderboard here. So these have been the most active people through the lifetime of the rewards program. So as Justin mentioned, pretty soon we're going to have a marketplace where you can redeem rewards. We're still brainstorming kind of what you can redeem for it, but it will include digital assets. It will include potentially, like a round trip ticket to the Cardano summit, things like that, that the community would really want. Now, the other thing that's going on with Clarity and how we're utilizing the incentives and the time-based competitions is not only do we have the all-time leaderboard, but we also have a competition-specific leaderboard where every week we're giving away 1,000 ADA between to the people who participate the most in the Clarity protocol. So you get points for completing incentives, you get points for creating a DAO, you get points for casting votes, you get points for really anything that you want to incentivize in your community. Like version 2 type of thoughts is connecting your wallet with social media accounts. So every time you retweet a tweet, you get points automatically. So Justin kind of showed you how you make the incentives from the admin side. This is what it looks like from the user side, where you can see the list of incentives. You start leveling up on the leaderboard as you complete more incentives. But yeah, it's been a really fun thing. I think the biggest thing for me is I've actually met new people and made new relationships because they're participating in this incentive program. These people want to build DAOs. They didn't know about us before. So it's been a really rewarding way to create community. But yeah, that's pretty much the leaderboard part. And that we also, like, it is a giveaway we are having every week for the next 7 to 8 weeks. We're going to be giving away 1,000 ADA. So we'd love for people to get involved. And at the end of the day, the reason we're doing it is because we want to accelerate decentralization and we want people to see the tools that we're creating. So yeah, that's an overview of that part.
That's a really great way to put it. A few things to maybe just kind of expound on, and I've got a follow-up question. So one thing that I've noticed with what you guys are doing is it reminds me of something, for example, like Zeely, which is a platform where you're able to complete quests, you're able to build community, and you're able to essentially learn and grow at the same time from a user's perspective, right? Because these tasks are forcing you to kind of do things that may be out of your comfort zone or maybe interact with content that you may not necessarily have interacted with. So I think that part is very good to see coming from a Web3 platform, specifically building here on Cardano. Now, one thing that I wanted to maybe ask, right, is for certain tasks that can actually be verified on chain, is there a way to actually submit, some sort of transaction hash, or maybe have an automated way for you guys to verify, that those things have actually taken place? Of course, something like, following an account on Twitter, that can't be verified on the network, but, utilizing the Agora style DAO on testnet, right? You can actually maybe plug in somebody's address and verify that they've interacted with the platform and the protocol. So just a question to you guys, asking if you guys have thought about automating certain tasks and verifying certain tasks that can be verified on chain.
Yeah, we definitely have some very exciting stuff coming down the pipeline in terms of kind of upgrading the incentives structure. This is definitely kind of an MVP that we've pushed out there with not a ton of out-of-the-box integrations, but it should be flexible enough to handle kind of whatever you throw at it. But as far as kind of automating some of those tasks and actually getting that end-to-end integration going, there will definitely be some very exciting stuff coming in the next couple months that just make everybody's lives easier and help with the kind of gamification aspect of the leaderboard.
Happy to hear it. Now, let's maybe move into any additional product updates that you guys may have, and then if there aren't any, then maybe let's jump over and talk a little bit about the V2 working group. So I'll throw it back to either one of you guys to again jump into any products, or we can maybe pivot the conversation to the working group.
Yeah, I think there's a few things to talk about, just things that are in the pipeline for us. And we work the Zealy point you brought up. That was a very interesting one, because we actually built that time-based competition because Matera and Daniel, they're like, we use Zealy, but they just had a lot of random people that their job is to farm Zealy to try to get rewards. So now they can do the reward system knowing that their community members actually have their NFT in their wallet before they're completing incentives and things. But in terms of things that are coming, Justin touched on it, but an InMaker integration, well, you'll be able to use those reward points that you can get on our platform to redeem for NFTs. So that will be a cool one. The rewards system marketplace will be also a cool feature coming up. And then just the Catalyst proposals we had funded in last round, we're getting closer and closer to closing those out. That includes an Agora, an automatically executing proposal that swaps treasury assets, the ability for the platform to have delegated voting within Agora DAOs, and then also having a DAO metric dashboard where we'll aggregate all the data so you can see, okay, here's the 5 DAOs on Cardano with the largest treasuries, how many token holders they have, and all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of cool things coming in the pipeline, but happy to kind of move on and talk about the V2 working group and what V2 is as well.
Yeah, let's do that. I think one very brief question one very brief point that I want to make there with that very last thing that you mentioned, I think that would be a huge benefit for the community to be able to see the most active DAOs and the biggest ones that are contributing, right? I think from a marketing standpoint, a lot of people come to content creators because of the reach that they have and because of the community that they have. I could definitely see some of the biggest DAOs on Cardano, right? If you guys have a dashboard, getting attention from projects or vice versa, them being able to leverage their community to be able to reach out and do certain things with the community. So that's something that I would definitely be looking forward to, some of the stats surrounding some of the biggest DAOs, who's most active and who's contributing the most. So just wanted to add that there. I'll turn it back over to you, Logan, as we jump into the V2 working group.
Yeah, so the V2 working group, it's been honestly really fun. It's been a group of about 20 people who just are interested in DAOs, interested in what we're building. And really what we're doing is we're testing the Agora functionality of our app on testnet. Right? This is so just to level set, if anyone doesn't know what Agora is it's an open source and audited library of smart contracts that make it possible to spin up completely permissionless organizations on Cardano. And what Clarity is doing is we are putting an easy to use front end on top of that protocol so that you don't have to know how to code at all in order to create one of these permissionless, decentralized autonomous organizations. So that's what V2 is bringing. It's bringing Agora functionality. So you're going to be able to click a button, fill out an online form that is actually you customizing your audited governance and treasury management smart contracts, create that organization, and have a tokenized community completely and transparently govern a treasury. So that's the essence of what version 2 is bringing. And we have a lot of plans in terms of DAOification of our own project as well, and decentralizing our operations using our own infrastructure. So it's an exciting time.
For anybody who maybe just wants to get access to the platform as it stands right now, can you maybe jump into that?
Yeah, really, testnet.clarity.vote, and then you'll be there. It's on the preview network. Make sure you have collateral set in your wallet. There's a test ADA faucet that you can get ADA in to start interacting with it. Really, just come to our Discord if you want to mess out with the testnet version. I'm always in there. I'll help you out. Testnet.clarity.vote, and then clarity.vote is the mainnet app.
And for the viewers watching as a part of today's video, I will make sure to go ahead and leave the links to all of the different socials and the official website for the Clarity DAO down below as a part of today's video description. Any maybe last features that you guys want to highlight as a part of the V2 working group, or maybe just the outlook?
Yeah, I think really quick, just highlighting the difference between our current polls, like a snapshot poll, and then what the Agora is fully bringing. can be interesting. So currently with a snapshot poll, which you see in our current V1 app and a lot of apps across the Cardano ecosystem and the crypto ecosystem at large, are just these kind of snapshot polls. So basically, they have no actual enforcement on chain. It's just kind of a way of indicating how the community feels. So this is still a really good way to kind of decentralize decision making, but ultimately it kind of relies on the central team, carrying out the decision that was made by the community. So what the Agora DAO does is it completely removes kind of that layer of trust, and these decisions that get made via Agora DAO proposals are executed automatically with a smart contract. So if the community decides to move money out of the treasury for a new incentive program, they don't have to rely on an admin or a group of multi-sig signers to actually do that. If the community decides that and it passes the rules that are set on chain, then it just executes automatically. So it really does remove kind of a big layer of trust and really pushes the boundaries of decentralization.
Yeah, and before we move on from that topic, I just want to say that we're in this early adoption phase, and we are super proud and just honored to be working with all these different use cases that are looking to leverage a DAO organizational structure. Example, Goki. They're buying real estate in a DAO structure, which is very novel. It's very new. We're figuring out how to do that compliantly with them in the United States. We're about to purchase a property in Colorado, actually. So, and then there's also Token Allies, who's starting a decentralized venture capital firm for the Cardano ecosystem. Then you have Genius Yield, who's going to run a decentralized exchange through DAO governance as well. So there's all these different use cases that are leveraging this permissionless infrastructure that we're going to be bringing in V2, and it's really exciting, and I'm very bullish on DAOs and Cardano.
Yeah, and I'm excited for what you guys have been able to build up until now. What I really liked about what Justin mentioned there earlier was the fact that we're now going to be taking the human emotions and the human interaction out of the actual implementation of these votes, right? At the end of the day, when you have a vote, there's a reason why you're having the vote. That's because not everybody may have aligning perspectives. When the vote doesn't go your way, now there's an incentive for you not to implement it, or for you to try to sway things. It introduces a side of emotion when there's always a human involved. So the fact that he mentioned that these smart contracts will be able to execute and implement whatever's voted upon without human interaction, that was a really good thing for me to hear. I think that's the way that we need to be moving forward, allowing these smart contracts to do exactly what they're meant to do, which is to implement these things without any interference or intervening of the human aspect of things. So as we get ready to kind of close things down, let's pivot a little bit. Right now, it is Cardano Catalyst season. But before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit just maybe about the roadmap moving forward, right? So maybe let's kick off the conversation with the roadmap for 2024. Obviously, 2023 saw a lot of updates, but what do you guys plan on implementing and just kind of having as the main focus for this new year? And then we'll close out here with Catalyst.
Yeah, so really the main goal for 2024 is to keep working with our early clients to build the best infrastructure possible, to have the best foundation for DAO growth in the Cardano ecosystem. Now, that's kind of a high level goal. On the more step-by-step side, the first big step is getting V2 out the door. So this is making sure that the front end that can interact with Agora is user-friendly, it's ready to be adopted, it's ready to manage treasuries, and we're hoping to do that in the first half of the year. Now, after that, a lot of it is about implementing Catalyst proposals that we have funded. So what does that include? That includes the capabilities for, we have that snapshot polling. You can get voting power from a token, but we're going to expand that in a big way because governance is a hot topic in Cardano right now. So DREPs are going to be able to have snapshot polling on the Clarity platform. So you can say, okay, all of the people who delegate to me as a DREP, I can poll them and ask for their opinion on votes coming up. You're also going to be able to do that as an SPO. So you can create voting power based off time staked and the amount staked. And you'll be able to build a snapshot organization not only if you're a tokenized community, but also if you're a DREP and also if you're an SPO. So that's some of the big functionality we have coming down the pipeline, so that these communities that are all around the Cardano ecosystem, SPO communities, DREP communities, will be very important. Just token communities, project communities, they can all come and have transparent governance and snapshot polling on the platform. The other thing is we are going to be adding to the library of automatically executing Agora effects. And I think this is actually a pretty good segue, and we can tie it into our proposals for Catalyst as well. But the really cool thing about Agora is you have your governance thresholds. Once the threshold is met, anything can execute as part of that proposal. So it could be a treasury spend. So the threshold is met, 100 people vote yes, a treasury spend can automatically happen. You can stake ADA from your treasury. So you can have passive income from your treasury. You can swap an asset in your DAO's treasury. You can elect someone to a certain role for a certain time. So these are all the types of proposals that we're going to be building out, so that our infrastructure just becomes more and more and more kind of robust, so that it can serve more use cases and more things can get executed automatically. The last thing I will touch on in terms of what's on the roadmap, and this is a Catalyst proposal actually, and I really hope it passes because I think it's going to be amazing for the ecosystem, is a DAO treasury hackathon. So a DAO open source DAO treasury effect hackathon. So really what this proposal does is it pays for a venue and then pays for 10 to 20 developers to fly in and create Agora DAO treasury effects. So whether it's a treasury effect, so you can start lending treasury assets in a certain protocol, or you can, do whatever it is. I don't know what people will come up with. I don't know what's possible. But that's why we want to get the community together to have this hackathon and create these open source effects, so that all of the Cardano community can leverage them. So definitely, if you are watching this and you do vote in Catalyst, that's one that we would love to have supported, because we really think it'll push the DAO ecosystem forward in Cardano.
Yeah, I think you're already kind of rolling in Project Catalyst, so just fire away with the additional proposals.
Yeah, all right, I can chat about more. So one is the hackathon. I think that one I already talked about enough of. The second one is in partnership with Goki. So with Goki, I mean, me and Craig, we've been on lots and lots of calls with lawyers, and we're figuring out how well we're close to figuring out and solidifying how you can purchase real estate in the United States under a DAO structure compliantly. So what this next proposal is to standardize that process and open source it, so all of the investment clubs or anyone who wants to start an investment DAO in the United States has a blueprint of how they can do it with clarity, and that should be pretty cool. And then the other ones are all Agora treasury effects. So the first one is the ability to stake ADA in your treasury. So if a DAO has a lot of ADA in the treasury, then you might want to stake it to a certain SPO to decentralize the network further. We're also very interested in working with BigPay and Atrium, so that the DAOs can use his diffusion stake baskets, which delegate to 50 different SPOs at the same time. We think that would be really cool. And then the other two are one of them is updating protocol parameters through an Agora effect. So a protocol charges fees. This feature would enable the community to be able to have votes to decide what those fees are. So how much is a swapping fee on a DEX, things like that. So that would be a pretty cool one. And then the last one is electing roles for terms and effect. So this would enable a community to elect a person to a certain role for a certain period of time, all verified on chain. So those are the proposals we have in the ring this round.
Yeah, nice breakdown. I'll go ahead and leave the links to those down below as well for the community. If you guys are interested, make sure to go ahead and register for Project Catalyst. I believe that registration deadline will be on January 15th of 2024, and the actual voting begins on January 25th, if I'm not mistaken, of 2024 as well. As we get ready to close this down, just want to maybe turn it over to either one of you, right, for some closing thoughts, anything that you guys want the community to know when it comes to Clarity DAO, projects you've onboarded, V2, the 2024 roadmap, or the Project Catalyst proposals.
Yeah, I think just at a high level, it's the age of Voltaire and Cardano. Governance is at the front of everybody's mind. We're obviously making some great steps as an ecosystem to decentralizing Cardano itself's governance. But now I think it's really time for us to kind of continue that trajectory and continue to decentralize all the way down. So that comes to a project level, and the participants in CIP-1694, we're giving everybody the tools to kind of make their own smaller governance structure. So from SPOs and DREPs participating in Cardano's governance to projects implementing their own governance that controls their protocol, to communities that are forming organically to maybe invest in a pool of Cardano assets. All of these are opportunities to experiment with community governance and decentralized governance. And I really do think that 2024 is the year for that.
Yes, the year for decentralization, with CIP number 1694 coming down the pipes, and IOG, Cardano, or the Cardano Foundation, Emergo, all focusing on decentralization. You guys are in the perfect spot right now, I think, for what you guys are providing and just the tools that you guys are bringing online for projects to be able to do that within themselves as well. So as you mentioned, I do think that there's going to be a lot of focus surrounding governance this year, and I'm sure that the Clarity DAO team's name will be coming up in a lot of those conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us here to the end for today's video. Again, thank you to Justin and Logan, the co-founders. Let me make sure I get that right. They're both head honchos of the platform here, joining me as a part of today's interview. If you guys enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this from the top builders on Cardano, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions for either of these two gentlemen, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.